Gary Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Gary Smith again. Yay. Hi,
Kurt, how you
Gary.
doing? Yeah, how's it going? Good.
Good. Where are you now? You've been all over the planet.
Yeah, I've just come back from China a couple of days ago, and I'm back in Holland. I'm home on Texel with family. So for me, it's fantastic. Although the weather is super cold here, cold, grey skies, windy. You know that weather, but
Wonderful.
sometimes it's a sometimes it's a good change. From the heat and being in China now for almost a month. It's great to come back home.
I don't know that weather any longer. I've been living in Florida now for 25 years.
That's true. That's true.
How long or so? And we have now our best time of the year has just begun.
Yes.
It's cooled down now. Even the nights are cold or have been cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in the 60s, low 60s, if you can call that cold, you would be happy about it probably. But,
Yeah. Yeah. But in
so
fact, in the North US, it's a big Arctic freeze. There's big freezes up north in
yeah,
the US. So I was
yes,
wondering. So it's not that cold in Florida.
yeah, no, no. I mean, it's a cold front, but it's going through now. Actually, that was the first real cold front. It was basically for one day, so now it will get a little bit warmer again, which is perfect then. When
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
nights are in the mid 60s and during the day it goes up to 75 or so. I mean, what
Yeah.
else
That's
can you
great,
ask
right?
for? Blue
Yeah. Yeah.
skies, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's paradise. So,
November
well,
is always a good month. November in Florida is
yep,
always a good month.
yeah. Well, you're coming soon.
Yes, I'm coming. I missed the beginning of Hayabusa, but they should arrive there 23, 24 November, and I come with Qatar beginning of December with the Tigers.
Yeah, Hayabusa here for the first time. Well, not first time here. They have been at the Shamrock Showdown before, but for training in Skydive City, their first time.
Yes, yeah, they look forward to it. They wanted to look for a change, a different drop zone, and of the drop zones that came up, I recommended Zephyr Hills in a way because we had trained there with Qatar, and they took it. So I hope they enjoy it. I really like the drop zone. I think it's an easy going drop zone, easy from landing, dropping your rig and getting back into the airplane. I think you don't walk more than 50 meters.
Yep. I hope they like it so much that they change their plan and sign up for the Shamrock Showdown in
Yeah, yeah,
2020
yeah.
because everybody else will be here except for Hayabusa.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So,
That's a shame.
so
But
I'll work on
I've
them.
seen I've seen their calendar, and I think as the Shamrock finishes, they almost start a camp in Portugal over that. So that's what they're going to have to look at if they can change that. They have a camp in Algarve right after the Monday after the Shamrock they start.
Well, it's a training camp, so it's not. It shouldn't be in the way, but we'll see.
Right.
They
No.
make they make the decisions, but who knows if they really like it so much,
Yeah.
then they,
Well,
they, they make.
it's also financial for them. Eh? It's the big flight ticket across the water because they will come out again. I think in January, February, they come out to Zephyr Hills again.
Oh, again?
They,
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. So they'll make another camp in the US just to get the jumps in. So they definitely the program looks good, and the plan is to make more jumps than what they made last year. So they will go. They're going big.
How was the eight-way training? Hayabusa's eight-way training with Fireflash, and I haven't
Well,
talked
that's
to them yet. I will ask
yeah,
him.
yeah.
I
I've
haven't heard
I've
from Dave. David said he will let me know, and I will get some videos if the
yes.
videos are good enough.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So,
I think they're good enough because I saw some of the scores on the apps going through. But I'm going to leave that for them to update you
okay.
before I tell you that there's world records in there. But I'm sure they did the world record jump. I'm sure they did it. And I was in China, unfortunately. In fact, I was leaving China when they were doing their weekend training. So I would have loved to have gone to Liège to see them train. Um, but unfortunately, I was basically in transit on that weekend coming back.
hmm
But
Well, we'll see what.
Dave will update you for sure, or Dave or Sven or one of them for sure,
Yeah,
whoever they task for that.
it will be. I'm still hoping so much, that they would do eight-way at the same time. But
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm going to leave that topic alone at this point in time. Well, why actually? We don't have to leave it alone. Fact is, to me, I mean, you know them. They are in four-way. They are so far ahead of everybody else. it's hard to imagine that they could that anybody could catch up with them. And then in eight-way they could be competitive for for all the eight-way medals at the same time if they train a little bit. They're so good, they're so talented together with Fireflash. Why not doing it? But
Yeah.
all right, we had a little technical problem here to resolve in the meantime, but we are back, fully back now with Gary Smith here. Gary, where were we stopped? What happened?
On Hayabusa and the 8-way topic.
Oh, the 8-way topic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It would be so. I think it would be great to have another, but of course they're taking a little bit of a chance. Or what do you see in 4-way? Can anybody get them?
I don't think so. I think if I look at their training program, the calendar, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to beat them. But they have to work hard and they have to put the work in. I mean, we all saw what Airspeed did in Australia. Airspeed did their 800, 900 jumps the year before, and I'm sure in 2018, and all of a sudden they scared the Hayabusa. So they're not going to make that mistake again,
Yeah.
And then with the 8-way, I have to say is you've got 3 good 8-ways out there, and those 8-ways are going to make 500 to 800 jumps. So for Hayabusa to make 200 jumps, they're going to come up short. As good as they are, with 8-way, you need to make 500 to 800 jumps to match those top 3 teams. So I think, unfortunately, the 8-way to catch the number 1, 2, and 3 is impossible unless they go and do 500 8-way jumps.
Okay, well then it's not really worth it unless it's just for the fun, so they keep the motivation up. And that's what they do anyway, in the tunnel only so far. But okay, well maybe I should just give up on my dream. maybe after Tanai or whatever, who knows?
Yeah, it's never over. It's never over. They're all good friends, and I think there's amazing spirit amongst Fireflash and Hayabusa, and I think that's why they've done the tunnel, almost out of respect for each other, and they know that those guys are Fireflash is eager to do the 8-way, and deservedly so. They said to them, "Let's do some tunnel time." There is no tunnel competition for Hayabusa coming up, so they are happy to do 8-way in the tunnel.
Yeah, Tony, well, it's amazing, this Hayabusa family, because we recently saw Luc Verstrepen he's a former Hayabusa member.
Yes.
And then Sven Ebens is with Fireflash, and they're all. Yeah. It's almost like the Airspeed, Airspeed brotherhood.
Yeah.
Alumni. Yeah.
I think that we all respect the whole Airspeed project, and if you go back to the days of Jack and Kirk and Dan BC and Mark starting it, everybody wanted to be a part of it. And if they have an Airspeed reunion, it's amazing where people come from and they have their thing. And I think Hayabusa will build up that. You have Roy, you have Sven, you have Luke, Danny Jacobs, all those guys would come to reunion. So I think, yes, family-wise, it's good, and I think that's the secret for them. Not only do you have family within the team, Hayabusa is a family. It's a great project to be a part of.
Well, let's. What do you think of the Airspeed situation right now? That was you were not at the Nationals, you were not at the World Cup. You were just observing this from the distance. What do you see? And right now they're in the middle of recruiting. Who's your candidate? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know Thiago is out, and I don't know what they're doing with Matt. And I believe I've spoken to Matt personally, and he wants to continue. But if Airspeed is going to rebuild for 3 years, as a goal for 3 years, is Matt the right guy? And it's a case of you have him for 3 years, and then 2 years after that you might lose him, as opposed to do you take 2 young guys? So that kind of would be in my head. I'd be looking at it saying, well, you take Mikkel, you take Nicholas, and you go, yes, you take Matt, and you're going to win with Matt in 3 years. But then what happens if Matt after that says, hey, I'm done now, I'm going to stop what you use, then you're back to where you were. So that's what I don't know if that's going through their heads. So
interesting.
Yeah, there's no panic for them really right now. They
Mhm.
can take their time. I mean, as we see, all of them, Matt, Nicholas, and Michaela, all jumping in the 8-way, right? So they're in the world, the Paraclete 8-way.
Matt is in the 8-way. I don't recall that Matt. I think he's the alternate for the 8-way. Oh, I lost you again, Gary. Oh,
Yeah, I'm
coming
back.
back.
Maybe back again. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, man. I don't know which internet it is, yours or mine.
Who
But
knows? But
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Matt. I must be honest, but I did see him training with them. So that's kind of in my head where I thought, well, Matt's there with the 8-way, but it might not be. It's nothing. I haven't read it official. I know that Nicholas and Mikkel were going into the 8-way, but I did see Matt standing there with his helmet on in one of the Facebook pictures or posts that they put on.
oh, you're talking about the nationals or World Cup nationals,
Yes.
right? Yes, we have an
No. But they've trained recently. They trained recently now in Paraclete. There was them in the tunnel, and Matt was with them in the tunnel. Um, but that was a Facebook post. They posted something on Facebook to say, "Hey, we started working already," and you saw them. You saw a picture of them, and Matt was in the picture. But I'm not. I don't want to spread any rumors on it because I haven't heard anything. I just took it for granted that they might be
8-way.
putting Matt back into the 8-way.
But Nicholas and Mikhail not in the Paraclete XP8 8-way, in an airspeed
Yeah.
8-way, or?
No, in the Paraclete, which is now called, I think it's called Arizona XP, because
Oh,
they're training in Arizona. So they will be training in XP and in Arizona. So I've seen something on Facebook where you see the Arizona airspeed logo with XP written on top of it. So maybe
oh,
I'm
interesting.
jumping ahead
I
of
better
myself,
dig
but
into this a little bit. That's completely new to me that
yeah,
Nicholas, well, they could do this now because they don't do a 4-way.
of
And
course.
then maybe, that's all speculation, but Steve and Andrew have double duties, would have double
But
duties.
yeah, but that's going to stop. So that's almost. I don't want to start a rumor on it, but that's what I've heard. That Andrew and Steve will be out. They're going to train as hard as they can in the 4-way, which makes sense to me.
Oh, well, that
Um,
makes sense, yeah.
and then it means that Rhythm can train harder, and it means that XP the 8-way can train harder. So
Right.
so Nicholas and Mikhail will come into the 8-way, and so
Well,
basically, that's just saying is that it makes total sense because Rhythm can now go and make the 900 jumps that they need to make or want to make, and the 8-way can also make 800, 900 jumps without double duties, because otherwise it's going to be, you're going to have to cut down on your jumps in both disciplines. So as far as I've heard and know is that Steve and Andy are pulling out of the 8-way, are stepping back from the 8-way to favor the 4-way, and then Arizona Airspeed is coming into the 8-way. And the members that I know that I've seen would be Mikhail and Nicholas, but I did see a picture of Matt in there.
And at the same time, they recruiting the new 4-way lineup. Well, interesting. See, the NSL news never hears anything. I'm always the last one to hear about.
And I heard that in China. So the Chinese media had it on.
Well, thanks for the information. I guess I have
No.
to research this a little bit.
Yeah, and it might be wrong. It's not coming from them. I've just picked it up through Facebook and through my brain thinking. Maybe it's overthinking.
No, I'm sure you're right. I mean, all this makes complete sense, and I'm trying to not sit the whole day. I cannot sit the whole day on Facebook and see what's going on. I have to, and you cannot. But
and in China, they blocked it. They blocked Facebook, so
oh,
you had to
okay.
go through. Yeah, you had to go through other methods to get it.
How did you do it then? If you're in China and you did find it on Facebook, how do you do it? Are you a hacker?
Yeah, I'm a hacker. No, I have no idea. Hayabusa will tell you, I have no idea what I'm doing on a computer. So I had people helping me, and I could get on.
Okay. Oh, so it is. You went
Well,
somewhere around.
there's apps that you can download, VPN and stuff, that kind of open up the internet at stages, but they're clever. They block it as well. So you kind of have to keep changing your location and stuff.
So let's go to the Tigers now. You have spent, I mean, you spend time with the Tigers, not with Hayabusa. You know, the
Yes.
Hayabusa is more like a remote relationship.
Yeah.
It's more or less for you now, but you have been working with the Tigers, and
Exactly.
they're doing well.
Yeah, they're doing great, man. They've really we've put it together this year, and especially because they've only started jumping this year, outdoor jumping in June. So they had Ramadan after April. So we only did tunnel up until April, and then they had Ramadan, and we only started jumping in June. So we basically done 3 camps, and they've definitely shown progression. And for me, very happy. And the last meet now, Asiana, was FAI, and it was out of a pack. So we hadn't trained
Oh,
exits. Yeah,
what's the
so the
pack?
exits were favorable. We took basically an E exit, and we grip switched into everything. A couple of them, like a 19 or an M, we launched. So we didn't lose that much time. I don't think there was that much loss. But some of the stuff we were just taking E and grip switching, you know. So they're doing good. They're really doing good, and I'm really hoping that they can put it together for Russia. You know, the goal for them is to get onto the podium in Russia. And yes, it looks as though it's achievable, but we know that there's, you know, the teams will come. At the end of the day, we have to work. They have to work hard, and if it's their day, it's their day.
Yeah, it's the podium in reach. There's no doubt about that. You know, with France, you know, focusing on 8-way, so that will be very difficult for them to. I was just thinking about that yesterday because I posted a Qatar story,
Yeah,
following up on, you know, what was recently going on, and it dawned on me that they may not even be that far away from a potentially threatening, you know, the US. I mean, Rhythm, that is,
yes,
for the second place. You know, I don't
yeah,
think Rhythm is. The Tigers now had a 24.4 average, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's not really that far behind Rhythm.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't see them that far behind Rhythm either. I mean, we matched Rhythm in the tunnel, and it's different, but we were close to Rhythm in the tunnel. If not, we beat them in win games. So they know that they can do it, but of course, free fall is a little bit different. And right now, Qatar's still making a couple of mistakes that my job is to try and iron out, get rid of some of those errors, some certain small bad habits, but it's going good, and I'm hoping we can get them to 25, 26 average. 25, 25 and a half would be a goal on an average draw. And if they can do that, then I think they have a fight. You know, there's a fight with Rhythm.
Hmm. Yeah, that's how it looks like. So that would be even more than just a podium place. Now you're talking about the silver medals there.
Yeah, but one step at a time, eh?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
So then you would first have won the first set of medals for Qatar with the Falcons in 8-way, and then you
yeah,
follow up with you know, with a fight for silver medals, potentially, possibly. There are other teams, of course, who want also the bronze medals. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I know that Sweden's Echo Chamber, you know, that's what they're really aiming at.
Of
But
course, Switzerland, I think will
Netherlands,
heads if they put some FAI training. Those are phenomenal jumpers as well. So you've got Switzerland, Sweden, Russia. We never know what team Russia's going to come with, but there's some huge potential in Russia. If they put 100, 200 jumps together, there's always a small threat out of Russia.
yeah, but they have all the good guys. You know, the top guys are in the 8-way team now, so
Yeah,
it will be tough
yeah,
for them to.
yeah. I agree. But and then I don't know how far, where Finland is. I've watched uh, the 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 Finnish. What are they called, man?
Pro team.
With Kimi and Pro
Hmm.
Team, and I don't know if they.
Well, we have a little interruption here
I
again, so let's wait a
don't know.
moment. I think we are running into the same situation here again. So Gary, if you can do this, your magic, what you just did before to get you back.
Yeah, yeah. One second.
So now you are back, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I Okay. So the
Yeah.
Finnish team, right? Oh, for a medal position, that would be a, well, who knows? You know,
Well,
we
that
never know.
I think if you, I don't know any of those teams. I know Sweden will train hard. I don't know Finland how much training they'll do, but at the end of the day, if you're in those teams, you have to think, well, we have an outside shot. We're all fighting for third place. And what is the gap between, is it Qatar? But if it's Sweden, you know, what is the difference between us and Sweden? So if I was in their heads, I'd be going, if I'm going to make 300, 400 training jumps, you have to believe you can maybe do that, you know?
Yeah, yes and no. You know, I mean, if you have rhythm and the Tigers going full time, you know, with four-way training for the next year, the other teams are all kind of more or less weekend teams, so it's almost impossible, you know, so that then nobody can make those 500, 600, 700 jumps or so.
No.
And especially, I mean, I'm glad to hear this, what you said earlier about rhythm, you know, going full power in four-way only. It's a smart thing to do, you know. It's the right thing to do,
for sure. I mean, I think they realized that, and even in the 8-way, the decision might have come even from the 8-way, where the 8-way knows that they have the French 8-way that is up and coming. The Russians beat them in the US Nationals and the World Cup. So they would have had to say, hey, we have to train more. And then you've got Stephen Andy also doing 4-way. So then that kind of would have limited the calendars, the programming. So I think it might have, I mean, who knows? I don't know who stepped back or who's what, but it seems like the decision has been made.
Okay, well, I would be very glad to hear that. I mean, I hear it now, so I'm glad to hear that. And Nicholas and Mikhail will, and Matt, they will not weaken the 8-way team.
For sure not.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it will take time, but I think the biggest strength is that they can put more training jumps in. You know, you don't have anybody doing double duty, so all of a sudden you're a stronger team because you've got people focusing only on your team.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes it even more interesting. That's great. You know, I think it's a fantastic news. So thank you to Gary Smith for the NSL news update.
I hope it's all correct.
Well, absolutely. I will, you know, double check it before
Yes.
you know, this will be posted, but I will definitely find out if this is, you know, what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and then I guess we will follow up very soon in Florida.
Yeah, in the sunny Florida. Chris, I look forward to seeing you in what, I think 2.5 weeks. I'm there.
2.5 weeks. Yeah, that's Gaddaf City. So let's leave it right there. Thank you very much, Gary, for the update. Very interesting, breaking news, and the update about
Thanks, Chris.
Qatar Tigers.